Victoria moves in so many ways. The Pacific pulls us in to roam its hidden alleyways, shift our perspectives, breathe history, taste local flavors, and savor every moment. Let yourself be moved.
Check.
Good evening. For those of you that have been here all day, it's me again.
But it's still Friday.
It is somehow still Friday. The Eves of Destruction acknowledge and thank the Kasapsan, Esquimalt Nation, and the Songhees Nation, along with the Tsuk and Pachigat, for allowing us to play the sport we love and host our events on their traditional territory. We, as guests, recognize this territory as unceded and honor the ongoing relationship with the land and stewardship of the Lekwungen-speaking people. We are honored to live on this land and are working toward reconciliation, decolonization, and building relationships in our communities. A few local organizations you can support are Victoria Native Friendship Center, Raven Trust for Environmental Justice, and Comcam Coastal Connections, Indigenous Harm Reduction and Health Services.
All right, for our final game of the day, we're going to start off by introducing the Eves of Destruction Encore. I like that the second appearance of the Eves is the encore. That's good. You planned that way, didn't you?
And it's Encore's first time playing as the Encore.
Number 007, Chucky. 06, Bottom Hurdles. 111, Dragon to Dirt. 115, Lightning Striker. Number 12, Bruise Clues. 1701, Ruby Roughhouser. Number 19, Gravity Assist. Number 2, Kamikaze K. 23, Green Maid. 3791, Slayer Moon. Number 40, Wheels of Fortune. 555, Chaos. 61, Veronica Divine. 613, Mill Street Bruiser. And number 705, Violent Criminal. And then the coach by Guadalupe Furioso and Mint.
And let's welcome to the track for the first time this weekend, the West Sound Roller Derby. Number 0, Freezerberg. 02, Slim Skating. 05, Category 5. 08, Shred a Stare. 1010, Siren. 122, Whoopsie Daisy. 18, Crossbred. 210, hits and giggles. 309 Cypher. 316 Legs. 4 Illness Speedy. 5150 Matt Medic. 62 Squirrely Temple. 624 Apache Fist. 71 Nail Boozer Barbie. 764 Laser. 94 Smash Mouse. And supported by a deep bench staff of Killer, Squire, Rizzo, and Nurse Patch.
And our officials for this game, starting with the skating officials led by Adam Smasher. We've also got McCollister, Faff in the Bout, Mace, Pterodactyl, Intervener, and Scary Beat Cheezies.
And our officials with no wheels on their feet, Phil Hollywood, Carmen Dragon, Hunky Dorky, V-Rex, Otter Mayhem, Callie, Babe, Screw Lucy, and Raw Control.
And away we go with the instant no back call. Squirrely Temple jamming for West Sound. Fat Bottom Rose with the star for Don Cole. Fat Bottom Rose pushing in the front. Squirrely Temple is the West Side. Rose, lead jammer for the first jam of the game. Ames of Destruction encore. Squirrely Temple out as well as Hurls cuts through the inside. Quick 4 points, calls off the jam.
The Eves of Destruction would like to thank all of the outstanding sponsors that fund the gameplay you enjoy. As we tell you more about them tonight, consider if you, too, would like to help keep us rolling through 2026. I see Carmen Dragon indicating an official timeout.
Back for jam number 2, Bruce Clues. Set to jam against Little Miss Speedy. Bruce Clues forced out of bounds. Little Miss Speedy dodges the inside and grabs lead jammer for West Sound. Bruce Clues out of the pack. Little Miss Speedy forced to the outside, calls off the jam. No points for the Eves. Waiting on the West Sound points. There are 2.
Parkway Physio. Reduce pain, improve mobility, and get back to what you love with Parkway Physio.
Slayer Moon set to jam for the encore up against Smash Mouse. And Slayer Moon through to grab lead jammer. Smash Mouse dodging left and back and right through the pack as Veronica DeVille picks up a penalty and heads to the penalty box. That'll thin down the encore pack. Slayer Moon trying on the outside edge. And finally able to clear with the 4 points. As West Sound losing another blocker to the penalty box, that will bring them down to 2 on the track. Smashmouth held solidly by the Eves defense. Slayer Moon, second pass is complete. He's going to get an escort into the pack by Veronica Deville. And this time Slayer Moon able to push through. 12 on the board, calls off the jam, and we are 16-2. Eves of Destruction.
The Zone at 91.3 are proud sponsors of the Eves of Destruction. You may have won your way into the game today. The Zone is a radio station made for you by real people right here in Victoria.
Green Bean jamming through quickly for the Eves encore. Eves with a 4-on-2 advantage to start the jam. Now down to 4-on-3. Just in time for Green Bean's scoring pass. Whoopsie daisy with the star for West Sound is through the pack. Green Bean tangling up with number 08, Shred Astaire. Shred Astaire. Well, and the jam called off with 4 points up for the Eves.
Get amongst the games tomorrow at 2 p.m. at the Roller Skater Bocce game. Grab your ticket to partake at the Hardcore's craft table or stick around to watch the fun for free.
Official timeout call. 25.5 minutes to go in the first play. 20-2. Eves of Destruction encore with the lead.
Get squiddy with it. We got a mascot over in the corner, a nice bright orange squid. I've been corrected and told it was an octopus.
Yes, you can tell because the arms are all the same length.
Oh.
Doesn't have that weird squid long thing.
All right.
All right, official timeout has clarified all the official things. And we are ready to go with Dragon of Dirt jamming against Siren. And Dragon of Dirt is clear and lead jammer. Siren trying to pop through but closed off. And a whole pack swings to the outside. Now let's Dragon of Dirt get clean. The Siren almost free, but knocked to the track by number 115, Lightning Striker. And Dragon of Dirt around for the second scoring pass. The Siren finally clears to complete the initial. Bringing it there. 12 on the board. Checks with the bench. Bench is like, keep going. Rolando would like her to Rolando. Dragging it there. Fourth pass done. Calls off the jam. A 16-0 run. Encore now 36. Oh, make that a 16-2. I missed the 2 points. West Sound now at 4.
This is a public service announcement letting you folks know that beverage ticket sales end at halftime.
Fat Bottom Hurls jamming against Squirrely Temple. And Fat Bottom Hurls cleared as lead jammer. Squirrely Temple also clears the pack. Fat Bottom Hurls mounts him up down the Boozer Barbie. Picks up points, calls off the jam.
In a world filled with mass-produced stuff, connect with what you consume with Driftwood Brewery. Visit their bar and patio nearby on Viewfield Road or on site here tonight.
Bruce Clues, your jammer for Encore, Lil Miss Speedy, the star for West Sound, and Bruce Clues up the inside edge. It's the 5th straight jam with lead jammer going for the Eves Encore. Lil Miss Speedy, bump to the infield, now back in play, cutting into out with nothing going. The 613 Mill Street Brewery closing down the outside door. Meanwhile, Blues Clues trapped at the front. West Sound having to bridge back to keep everyone in play. And 4 points up for Blues Clues. Little Miss Speedy is clear of the pack. And giving chase. Blues Clues knocked to the track. Calls off the jam. But did manage to swing the hips in front of 2. Freezer Burn number 0 jamming for West Sound for the first time this evening up against Slayer Moon. Freezer Burn forced out of bounds. Slayer Moon, room on the outside, lead jammer. Encore. First star pass of the game, sponsored by Driftwood Brewery. Handed off from Freezer Bird to number 08, Shred Astaire. The Slayer Moon is through with points. Shred Astaire dropped to the infield and cutting the track. Came in a little ahead. Illegal contact penalty called on Slayer Moon. So Slayer will sit and Shred Astaire will be released. And we will go another 42 seconds, our first 2-minute jam of the game. Shred Astaire caught up at the back of the pack and pushing forward. Trying to get out on the inside, but bumped out of bounds. Slayer Moon back out after the shortened penalty period. Picks up 4 points on the second pass. Shred Astaire again forced to the infield and has to recycle back. Slayer Moon held at the front. And Shred Astaire back to the penalty box, and another power jam that will span into the next jam. As a 12-0 run for Encore takes them to 58 with just about 19 minutes to go in the half. Green Bean on the power start for Encore. Shred Astaire sitting just before the jam came to a close. Green Bean pushing as West Sound has to bridge, now dropping a second skater to bridge. And Green Bean squeezes up for the front to pick up the lead jammer. That's 7 straight jams with lead for the Eves. Shred Astaire out of the penalty box and bumped out of bounds by Chaos. Green Bean pushes through for 4. And 4 more up for Green Bean. Ooh, nice outside lane open by Lightning Striker, letting Green Bean slide around. West Sound with the attempt to catch, but not quite able to seal the deal. Shred Astaire continuing to be trapped at the back of the pack. Looking for anything on the inside, but the door closed down, and a cut track called. Shred Astaire rolled out and missed the roll back. Meanwhile, Green Bean with 16 on the board is going for more. Takes a heavy shoulder from the legs and calls off the jam. And a timeout call by West Sound as Encore now up by 70, 74-4 with just under 17 minutes to go in the half.
Our amazing crew of dedicated officials is one of the Eves of Destruction's biggest assets. From non-skating officials to on-skate officials, they make it possible for us all to enjoy this sport we love so much. Speak to any official or Eves of Destruction member to find out how you too could be part of this awesome crew.
Timeout complete, and we are back with Dragon to Dirt on the power start and a wide open inside lane. Continues the string of lead jammers for the Eves. Dragon to Dirt calling for the sweep. Takes care of a couple, and Dragon to Dirt does the rest of the work, breaking through with points. As Shred Astaire clears the pack, passes the start quickly over the middle. And that lets Mad Medic break free and force the call off.
A big EOD thank you to our tireless photographers, Ultraviolet of Cherry Bomb Photography, Paige DeWolf of Creative Miscellany, and Adam Nyshoots. Adam's standing right in front of me. Maybe he knew I was going to say his name. We all look forward to revisiting tonight's greatest hits through your work.
Fat Bottom Hurls jamming against Smash Mouth. And Fat Bottom Hurls lead jammer for the Envy, or the Encore rather. Smash Mouth number 94 clears the pack. It's Fat Bottom Hurls looking on the outside, pushes now, sees a lane open on the inside, breaks through. Picks up 4, but Smash Mouth able to sneak through with 2.
Thank you to tournament sponsor Airbnb.
Squirrely Temple jamming for West Sound. Bruise Clues with the star for Encore. Jam started with a slight one skater advantage for West Sound, but that has closed out. The blocker returns to the play, and lead jammer going to number 62, Squirrely Temple. Bruce Clues slowed and held up by number 60, by number 02 rather, Slim Skady. As Squirrely Temple. Bump to the infield, comes back in, calls off the jam. A 2-0 run for West Sound.
Thanks to Roll Focus for making our tournament stream incredible.
Official timeout for some track repairs. Official timeout brought to you by tape. If you need to stick stuff together, get some tape.
Thank you to the hard work of our track tape minders. That is Slaya in green. Slaya's got a big fan from Zooks.
All right, everything's secured. Tape is down. Slayer Moon set to jam against Little Miss Speedy. Slayer Moon looking to the outside, bumping. Held by 2 is named as lead jammer. Just as Little Miss Speedy able to sneak around the outside and race lightning striker. And now giving chase and forcing the call off. A 0-0 jam. We stay 86-9 with 13:40 to go in the half.
For those of you enjoying cheering in the audience there, that was our first score-free jam of this game.
Green Bean jamming against Smash Mouth. And Smash Mouth up the inside. Lead jammer for West Sound Roller Derby. Smash Mouth accelerating through turn 2 as Slim Skady heads to the penalty box. Smash Mouth hits the pack, calls off the jam. And our second scoreless jam in a row. Encore able to keep the hits ahead.
Empire Donuts, a whole lot of love. All donuts are made by hand, from scratch, with quality ingredients.
Dragging to dirt, jamming against Squirrely Temple. Dragging to dirt. Chest to chest with Mad Medic and sneaks around the outside to grab a lead jammer. The Squirrely Temple locked off on the inside, tries for the outside edge, but also blocked there. And dragging to dirt through with 4 points. Squirrely Temple held up. Mad Medic trying to break things free, but not quite able to do so. Dragging to dirt, bumped out of bounds by Slim Skady, coming out of the penalty box and getting right back into the defense. And dragging to dirt finally completes the second scoring pass. As Squirrely Temple forced out of bounds and rolled back to the top of turn 2. And again bumped out by Lightning Striker this time. But a cut track called on Squirrely Temple. Out of bounds and went just a step too far forward. So power jam for Dragging to dirt and Encore. Pack thinning out quickly for West Sound with a couple of out-of-play penalties, or failure to reforms rather. As Dragging to dirt with 12 on the board adds another 4. And that'll take Encore over the 100-point mark. Squirrely Temple released from the penalty box. Back into the warm embrace of the Encore defense. As the jam comes to a close with 3 more. Encore now 105, West Sound 9. Little Miss Speedy jamming against Fat Bottom Hurls. Low block called on Fat Bottom Hurls. Little Miss Speedy forced to recycle back and is now trapped. As West Sound tries and works to break through, and Little Miss Speedy is your leading jammer. Speedy dodging through. Slight duck on the outside to grab 4 points. And now rolling back in. And when the Speedy taps the hips, calls off the jam. A 5-0 run for West Sound. Make that 6, sorry, that was 2, not 1.
Hazel's Ice Cream, a family dream of ice cream. Visit their bike cart for local handmade ice cream bars.
Bruce Clues set to jam against Birthday Girl's Siren. Everyone say happy birthday, Siren. Maybe the Eves will have a nice gift for Siren. Unfortunately, that gift seems to be mainly shoulders. Bruce Clues forced out of bounds. Tied up, and Siren breaks through with the birthday lead jammer. Announcement. Siren now made on the scoring pass on the inside. Tiptoes and keeps the feet in bounds to pick up 4. Oh, Siren calls off the jam. Did collect 4 on that second pass, and 8-point jam for Westside.
Thank you to Roller Girl for sponsoring the Capital City Chaos Tournament MVP prize. You can vote for the tournament MVP using the QR codes posted throughout the arena.
Slayer Moon jamming against Smash Mouse. And Slayer Moon through first. Breaking the string of 2 straight jams with the West Sound lead. No back call, Slayer Moon is free. Picks up the 4 points.
Drop in to Influence Board Shop for Victoria's best selection of skateboards and gear.
Green Bean jamming against Squirrely Temple, and Green Bean out first lead jammer. Squirrely Temple knocked well out of the track as Green Bean sneaks past number 18 Crossbred to pick up 4 points. Squirrely Temple almost through, but slips to the ground as Green Bean fights around the outside and grabs 4 more. That was a Star Pass sponsored by Hotels Inn and also a cut track. If you're scoring at home, that cut track assessed to number 18, Crossbred. And Crossbred will sit in the penalty box as jammer. And we will have another power start for number 111, Dragon to Dirt, and the EOD Encore.
If you haven't got your 50-50 tickets yet, you have 5 minutes left. The draw will be at halftime. Lou is dancing around with a bucket next to the stage. Give them a shout, wave your hands. Lou will take your money.
Dragon to Dirt is the sole jammer on the track. On the power start, pushing towards the front and clear as lead jammer. Crossbred starting the jam in the penalty box. Eve's Encore briefly capturing Malibu's or Barbie as in the back is the goat. Barbie able to break free and Dragon to Dirt with 4. Crossbred out of the penalty box and fully engaged with the tripod at the back for Encore. And able to push through the pack to complete the initial pass. This Dragon to Dirt held up by West Sound at the front. Here's the cries from the bench. Calls off the jam. Only 2 on that second run. Or 3, rather.
Proudly Canadian, Cloverdale Paint delivers high-performance paints, coatings, and color systems.
128-23 with 3:40 to go in the first period of play. Fat Bottom Hurls set to jam against Lil Miss Speedy. Fat Bottom Hurls pushing it inside and just nudged out by 0-2 Slim Skady. Skady with a big run back. But Fat Bottom Hurls able to sneak past at this point. And is back engaged at the front of the pack and again bumped out by Apache Fist. Lil Miss Speedy trapped at the back of the pack. With nothing doing as Fat Bottom Hurls forced to the infield and a forearm penalty called. So Fat Bottom Hurls will grab lead jammer. As Apache Fist heads to the penalty box. And the Empire Donut Star Pass for West Sound Roller Derby. And now Slim Skady, your jammer of record. 4 points up for Fat Bottom Hurls. And 4 for Slim Skady. Fat Bottom Hurls grabs another 4, calls off the jam. Slim Skady able to grab 1 more.
Thank you to the St. John ambulance attendants on site all weekend.
Just under 2 minutes to go in the half, 136-28.
With this official timeout, while the lovely Slaya does some track repair, this is a great time to get your last-minute drink tickets. Drink sales end at halftime. 50-50 ticket sales end at halftime. Get her done now, folks.
The Octopus needs at least 8 drink tickets because it's got 8 arms. Can clearly handle that many beers. Bruce Clues jamming against Squirrely Temple. And Bruce Clues dropped to the track. But a forearm called. And that will thin the West Sound defense down to 1 blocker. And while they tried hard, not able to hold Bruce Clues. Squirrely Temple was able to get through and force the quick call off.
Visit Fated Hearts bookstore in our vendor village.
One minute to go in the half. Slayer Moon jamming against Siren. 4-on-2 in the pack. Slayer Moon uses that to their advantage, grabs lead jammer as Siren also able to break free. Now 4-on-3 in the pack. As Slayer Moon hits it, drop to the knees, calls off the jam. A 3-point run.
Greater Victoria Sport Tourism Commission, fueled by the support of over 50 business members and municipalities, is dedicated to enhancing the region's sporting event landscape. Their mission is to seamlessly blend sport hosting with tourism marketing, drawing major sport events to the Greater Victoria area.
Green Bean jamming is Little Miss Speedy again, and Green Bean is through and is your lead jammer. As the period clock now closed, we are on jam time alone. Little Miss Speedy speeding up through the pack. Green Bean also bouncing left on right off the hips. Picks up the 4, calls off the jam, and that will be halftime. 143-28. Leaves the Destruction Encore in the lead.
Get your last minute beverages and be ready for the 50-50 draw, folks.
Victoria moves in so many ways. The Pacific pulls us in to roam its hidden alleyways, shift our perspectives, breathe history, taste local flavors, and savor every moment. Let yourself be moved.
All right, we have the 50-50 draw ready. The winner tonight will take home $139.50. Lou is shaking the bucket for Flawless to draw a ticket. It is a blue ticket, number 5629073. Is that person waving their hand because they won? No. Over there. Make your way to Lou.
Victoria moves in so many ways. The Pacific pulls us in to roam its hidden alleyways, shift our perspectives, breathe history, taste local flavors, and savor every moment. Let yourself be moved.
Hey, that means Matt Mennick gets donuts, right? Oh, but a forearm penalty to Matt Mennick. That'll negate those donuts. And also send them to the penalty box.